Right now, one thing I've never understood, and I actually think we'll wait to see how this looks, but either we have laws at the border or we don't. We're asking people to get in line to come into this country while incentivizing people not waiting in the line. Like, we've seen things where sanctuary cities like California and Illinois, it's kind of like get to the country, like kick the can. If you get to base, though, you're going to be fine. You also have Tim Walz signed into legislation in Minnesota that allowed undocumented immigrants to receive free in-state tuition.
That's co-host of The View and woman who's wrong 99% of the time, Sarah Hines, doing something we've never seen before on the show, saying something sensible about politics. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like we might have finally found a reason to show a segment from The View again, because in the middle of their week-long meltdown over the election results and Trump's recent appointment of Tom Homan as the new border czar, Sarah Hines decided to clap back against the hysteria and out herself as a person with a shred of common sense left.
Well, I think that the weaponizing of immigrants or equating immigrants to criminals was feeding off people's fears, because the statistics don't support that. But there is a problem at the border, and there's been a problem for decades and decades, and every administration has come through here and no one has fixed it. It ballooned in this last administration, and that's what the people voted on, a referendum on that. But there are people that can't pay for food for their own families. In New York, they were giving the $500 meal cards, and obviously we want to help someone for the humane interest, but there's a lifeboat here. And I think the rage about the border was also people here that are maybe insecure, homeless at times, making ends meet, and they don't have they can't send their kid to college. That's the outrage of what I saw the voters say.
You know, the fact that this issue penetrated the liberal hive mind on The View really highlights that despite establishment media downplaying it and people like Jen Psaki mocking people for being concerned about it, immigration really was a big issue this election. Millionaire talking heads might not experience it from their gated communities, but regular Americans do, including Hispanic ones, and this election showed that they've finally had enough.
Statistic during the elections, and I think I was in the New York Times, that said that when Trump said things, people didn't think it applied to them. Yeah. So in the last few days, I got a call from a couple of people, friends of mine, people very close to me in Miami, big Trumpers, who are worried now about what's going to happen to their undocumented nannies that help them raise their children. So I told them that I suggested they learn how to clean their kids' ass. People who think that what Trump was saying, that the racial slurs, that the threats on immigration, that all of the Department of Education, all those things that Trump has been saying, RFK, was just rhetoric, but hyperbole. They're about to find out.
We're doing an asylum. They changed this asylum rule, too, though, where there are real people that need asylum in this country, and they ballooned that asylum law, which meant people were cutting the line, and those that were vulnerable, it's being diluted, the pool of people. There should be able to be a real conversation about the problems with immigration.
The talking point Ana Navarro just made there might be on the level of Kelly Osbourne saying that without immigrants, no one would scrub Donald Trump's toilets. I mean, it's that far removed from reality. The average person can barely afford a family at this point. Home ownership is becoming a pipe dream, living expenses are soaring, and daycare costs are astronomical. Yet Navarro thought a good rebuttal to what Hines said was to point out that people might have their undocumented nannies deported. I mean, all this does is show how out of touch she is, and underscores the fact that elites only view these people as a servant class they can exploit for cheap labor while virtue signaling about how generous and open-minded they are. But let me know what you think. Will illegal nannies being deported be the gotcha that Navarro seems to think it is? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!